Welcome to Rauta, welcome to Underground Trio. I am Jerry, and once again we will go through 3 different releases of 3 different styles in order that I would say worst to best, according to my own opinion, of course. So once again, feel free to disagree. That's the point, to give you a little bit of tips, a little bit of ideas what there are out, and you might like totally different styles than I do, so take it as you wish. This time we have 2 bands from Finland, 1 from Poland, 2 albums of black metal and 1 of melodic death metal. And like said, I will go based on my own opinion, ranking from worst to best. Links are provided in the description box in case you want to find out more, you want to find out the music without googling and all that stuff. So let's go. First we'll take the album by a band called Deathropy, which is the self-titled one. This is very fresh band. I think the first singles appeared in 2023. There are no demos to know of, and as such the band really jumped quickly to do an album. I mean, the singles are of course taken from the album. This is CDR, self-financed release, which is a red flag to some people, including me. I often say that whenever you skip a demo phase and then you do an album, especially the self-financed one, that is for a reason. Maybe the labels thought that you're not exactly ready to do an album, and as such they're like, thanks but no thanks, see you later. And then the band's like, okay, forget it, we're gonna do it ourselves, and the result is often very demo-like. Unfortunately, that is really the case here as well. It's not so much like about inability to play the instruments or handles the style here. I mean, these guys are doing exactly what you would expect to do if you're coming from 1990s Gothenburg. Think of bands like In Flames, maybe a little bit Dark Triangle, the Gates of Ishtar and the like into the mix, and then you roughly have it. I would say this is like a demo level In Flames recording, just in full album length. And that's part of the problem. It seems like way too many ideas are a little bit too lukewarm to make a big impact. The thing here is, these guys know and understand the style. They have rather nice melodies, but nothing too memorable. They have the growly vocals, which are pretty good. They have a little bit of black metallic shrieky ones, which are quite okay as well. But nothing is out of ordinary. And then you start wondering why on earth you would really need some I don't know, 30 minutes or whatever, or beyond that, when it's more like a demo feeling. That applies to the production here as well. It's not bad, but it's not really great either. It's more like this kind of band would really need the better, well, not necessarily big budget, but stronger productions. Production that would really like emphasize the melodies, give it more a punch, and then also, you know, more focus on the songwriting, like, you know, separate the average melodic death metal riffing from the really good ones, the chorus parts and all. Now it feels like everything is more like the basic riffing. Some better melodies here and there, but nothing out of ordinary once again. But if you like melodic death metal in the veins of In Flames and whatnot, well, maybe Deathropy has something for you. Like I said, self-financed CDR out February 2024. Then we have this Polish band, and this is, I think, the second release, Among the Graves of the Archetypes. Not exactly sure what the name is supposed to mean, but sometimes they might be lost in translation, or there's a point the band is trying to make, and it's just not too obvious. This is a curious case because it tries to put out different styles together, and now I don't want to risk and force this CD tray out. You probably can see the image on the background, which it seems like I don't know, a rural village of sorts on the background, although more like this inlay. You will see the track listing, Putrid cult label, CD limited to 500 copies and all. This is also 2024 release, and style is melodic black metal with keyboards and sometimes going a little bit dissonant. More like, okay, this is like modern take of black metal. Also at the same time, it's quite traditional. There are lots of ideas from the 90s style, which is like, okay, yeah, very basic. You have the keyboards, you have the melodies and all that stuff. But it's also flirting with the more dissonant modern style. and that is then done with a rather organic, I would say, less overproduced sound. And now where it gets a little bit complex is that it's like trying to eat the cake, save the cake. I'm saying there's a little bit dissonance in the music itself without meaning the actual dissonant riffs. And that is like one part is modern, one part is traditional. And then you have the production which is exactly neither, but more definitely of old school, being more organic and a little bit weaker than, like sharp guitar sound or whatever. So it's like a weird mix of things. And I'm like, it kind of sounds original and then not again, not that much. And I'm saying, okay, this ain't modern enough, not dissonant enough for those who really worship for example, the third wave of black metal, especially the Icelandic style, which is known for the dissonant style. But then again, this is not traditional, enough either for the people who are like, okay, I can take a little bit of dissonance, if only it's more traditional 1990s wave of black metal. So it's a little bit weird of a mixed goodies. But I mean, some people will like it because it's that. Like, it's not like your everyday black metal release, and because it's mixing styles. So take it as you wish. Interesting release, but I would say still a little bit work in progress. But yes, if melodic black metal with different styles is your cup of tea, go for it. And then the best of the pile comes from Finland. It's Uhritulet, a side project by a member known as Valtteri Pasanen, who is known for a few other bands coming from Finland, all black metal more or less. And this time he's working solo. I mean, he has a few projects, a few bands where they're like different lineups, even if they're all black metal. And this time it's going like back to 1990s, more grim kind of stuff. I think there's a little bit Burzum in the mix, maybe some Dark Throne, but more on the grim side of things with mid-tempo. It's not really super raw, but more on the rawer sense of side of things rather than those overly melodic type of black metals which have really clean and powerful sound, whatever. And because of mid-tempo, I mean, it's kind of a fitting that the sound is rather, raw or stripped down. And as such, I mean, it's supporting that you don't really have necessarily complicated riffs and the drum patterns are quite basic. But I mean, it comes with a purpose and it starts to make sense. This is not as memorable as it could be, but really the riffs are actually quite fucking good. And I like how the vocals are done, how everything falls in place. There is even a little bit of keyboard in the mix. And as such, it's like a well balanced thing. There's enough variation, not too much. And then it ends around 31 minutes, which is like before you get bored or feeling like, okay, there is like too much repetition. I would say this is clearly the best of the pile. Something that came out in the September 2023. Some of the missed gems I didn't get to hear when it was out. And being the only album out so far, the band, I mean, there is really nothing to compare it in terms of Uhritulet, Sacrificial Fires, if you will. I would say if you're into grim classic 1990s black metal with more on the rawer side of thing rather than overly melodic, super produced and super fast bands and all that stuff, check this one out. It's really good. And like I said, links to all these three bands are provided in the description box. So there is a little bit of everything for a little bit of everybody, but not necessarily all of these three are for, all and the same audience. If you like some of these, let me know what you think, or if you need some suggestions or have some questions or whatever, let me know and I will get back to you. Now off you go, enjoy some good music and stay metal, stay true, and keep following Rauta for more reviews coming away. Bye bye.